Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty, good afternoon people. Let me just do a little bit of DIY. Do it yourself, because nobody else will do it for you. There we go. Alright, just going to catch up with a bit of news today, but before we do that, just check these figures quickly. Transactions, look at that. Transactions over 50% now. I wonder if it's going to stay there. Over 50% of the transactions on the network. Loving that. Let's just cross-reference that with BitInfo charts. 10.6% of the overall transactions on the entire shit show. Look at that. Look at that. Let's just see if that's like a blip or a spike in transactions or something like that. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. Alright, so transactions. Wow. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, it looks genuine, like a genuine uptick to me. You know, is it going to be maintained? Well, only time will tell. But it's exciting. It's indeed. Let's have a quick look at this blockchain growth. 8.1 gigabytes. Loving that. Bitcoin romping away with it. Love that. Love that. See what's going. Whoa! Oh, hello. Hello. Wasn't expected to see that. Ooh. All right. So that. Oh, look, that's BSV versus BTC. Oh, come on. Come on. Check it out. Check it out. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. Yes, indeed. Let's see where we are on 7 days then. All right. All right. Let's have a look over the month. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. That's exciting. Again, you know, I was on TDXP app and I thought, well, you know, if they're gonna give me the opportunity to bet against them, you know, I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. Oof. It's coming close to getting in the green. Loving that. Shout out Neezy in the chat box. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yeah, look at this. So Core Coin just up 0.27% in 24 hours. Let's have a look, see where Bitcoin is. 4%. 4%. All right. Well, 4.8%. It's nearly 5, really. So, yeah, like up 4.5% in comparison to Core Coin. Oh, made my afternoon, Naz. Oh, yeah, look at that. So, according to... let's have a look at Bitcoin Blocks Live. Live CoinWatch quickly. Hold on one sec. Just got to see this. There we go. So, Prev in the top left of the screen frame saying 191. CoinDance saying 187. So, $4 arbitrage there. And Live CoinWatch saying 185. Interesting. Let's have a look at the depth chart then. Oh, 4.7 million bids versus 3.5 million asks. Ooh. Oof. Look at that. Look at that. Great stuff. Come on, Bitcoin. You can do it. Love it. Love it. Oh, great. Feel chuffed to bits now after that. Great stuff. Close all this down. Dun dun dun. Bitcoin is BSV. Loving it. Right, let's get into some of the juicy goss then, shall we? Let's have a look at this crime cartel one. Here we go. Rock and roll. Jordan Aitkins. Here we go. That's Jordan Aitkins, not Jonathan Aitkins. Crypto crime cartel. The many lawsuits against BitMex. Despite a public business as usual approach, BitMex and its founders are facing a growing wave of legal action over what prosecutors and plaintiffs call a wholesale scheme to manipulate digital asset markets at the expense of its own customers. Its founders are awaiting criminal trial and new civil plaintiffs are appearing on a regular basis. In fact, the accusations levelled at BitMex cryptocurrency exchange have reached such a cacophony that they've become difficult to keep track of. Some cases have been consolidated, others have been settled, and more still awaiting their day in court. However, upon examining the cases against BitMex separately, what stands out is the degree to which their accusations against the platform and its founders tell the same story of brazen market manipulation, intentional non-compliance with anti-money laundering regulations, and consumer fraud. Dear oh dear. Their time might be coming. You reap what you sow. So the BMA cases... BMA? BitMex something? The bulk of the civil cases against BitMex can be traced back to a man named Pavel Pogodin, a practicing attorney based in Puerto Rico. Not only is he the attorney of record for these cases, but he founded Bitcoin Manipulation Abatement LLC. Oh, okay, that's what it is, BMA. A Puerto Rican company which is a plaintiff in the BitMex cases, as well as a number of other anti-manipulation lawsuits against digital asset providers, including against Ripple. The first in the series of lawsuits was brought in May 2020 on behalf of the, what's it called again? Bitcoin Manipulation Abatement. And listed HDR Global Trading, owner and operator of BitMex. ABS Global Trading, BitMex's alleged US entity, and co-founders Arthur Hayes, Ben Dello, and Samuel Reed. It makes a number of allegations against BitMex that it operates an illegal money transfer scheme, actively manipulates crypto markets, and trades against its own customers, and a host of associated racketeering, influenced, and corrupt organizations act violations. Oof. Oof. Dear oh dear. Honestly, this is why, there is no excuse for not knowing the law. I mean, they must have known they were doing wrong. Trading against your own customers. Can you not see a conflict of interest there? It's outrageous. So what's this? Mechanics of Bitcoin market manipulation and money laundering. Ooh, look at this. Samuel Reed, so that's what he looks like. Your Bitcoin wallets, cloud, Coinbase, crypto to fiat conversions, US profit, salaries, rents, attorneys, reinvesting profit, Mark Sweep LLC, Grape Park LLC, Wisconsin and Massachusetts real estate. Alright, and where does this one go? Bitcoin wallets, deposit or helper funds, withdrawal of profits. That goes to increase profits via server freeze. So that means like when the exchange shut down and there was volatility they couldn't deal with maybe. Profits to 20 to 80x amounts spent. Index price moves with spot price causing liquidations. Oof. Liquidated plaintiffs' positions. Oh dear, oh dear. Effective funds transmission. What's this? The injection of false market information to lure traders into opening positions. Amount spent. Moving spot prices by placing large market orders. Liquidated plaintiffs' positions. Low liquidity. Helper account Kraken. Anonymous winner account. BitMex cannot be traced to helper account due to BitMex anonymity. God, dear oh dear. Dear oh dear. The chosen defendants make sense. Arthur Hayes, Ben Dello and Samuel Reed co-founded and ran the BitMex network, while HDR Global Trading is parent company behind the BitMex brand. The inclusion of ABS Global Trading is more controversial. It's a name many won't recognize, but is a Delaware incorporated company with offices in San Francisco, and which the lawsuits, including those not filed by Pogden, say act as a single enterprise inseparable from HDR, with shared resources. The defendants argue that ABS provides only operational support to HDR, unrelated to the complaints being filed. According to them, plaintiffs only include ABS as a defendant in order to establish jurisdiction in California. It is worth noting that the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, who are also suing BitMex for violations of the Bank Secrecy Act, talk about there being no smoke without fire, also included ABS as a defendant inseparable from BitMex. It's also worth noting that the name ABS appears to be a synonym. That's not pseudonym, synonym, derived from the first name of its co-founders, Arthur, Benjamin, and Samuel. Oh, really? ABS, Arthur, Benjamin, and Samuel. That's hilarious. It's so brazen. When you realise these things, that's why they've done it. Just like Silverstream was the company that helped those corrupt companies on 9/11, and now we've got Silverstream and now we've got Blockstream. Same people. As for the allegations themselves, it accuses BitMex of being designed from the ground up of being a haven for tax evaders, money launderers and other criminals by refusing to implement adequate KYC and anti-money laundering measures as required by US law. Requirements which BitMex sought to avoid by incorporating in the Seychelles. Yeah, because Arthur Hayes was saying that all you've got to do is pay them a coconut. Outrageous. The suit quotes a July 2009 video in which CEO Arthur Hayes brags the authorities in the Seychelles can be bribed more cheaply than their US counterparts. Additionally, BitMex is said to have deliberately based the index price of its futures on low liquidity exchanges where they could easily be manipulated. BitMex would then engage in manipulation on those platforms in an effort to affect the price of the products, specifically those relating to BTC and Ethereum, so as to allow BitMex to margin call and liquidate its own highly leveraged traders. Absolute bucket shop. BitMex also allegedly traded against its own customers, going as far as to use anonymous burner email addresses as opposed to official BitMex email addresses to open trading accounts for its insider trading desk with BitMex Exchange to cover up the tracks of wrongdoing, so the traders' histories and illegal manipulation profits cannot be traced back to BitMex. While the initial lawsuit had only BMA as the plaintiff. It would go on to add 2 traders in July, Russian citizens Vitaly Dubiny and Yaroslav Klochin. Like BMA, both traders were allegedly damaged by the defendant's activities though Dubinin was a user of Kraken, one of the exchanges the lawsuit says BitMex used to manipulate the market. Co-founders indicted by DOJ, sued by CFTC. Oof, that is not what you want. You do not want the DOJ on your back. They are the big boys. The timing of the lawsuit turned out to be precedent. Less than 3 months after the update complaint in July, the BitMex founders were indicted by the U.S. Department of Justice and hit with a separate civil suit by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission over accusations similar to those in the BMA suit, or very similar to those in the BMA suit. The Department of Justice indictments were for violations of the Bank Secrecy Act, which requires that financial institutions actively implement anti-money laundering measures. Once again, BitMex founders are accused of failing to meet those obligations intentionally, including by incorporating in the Seychelles in the hope that they could escape the reach of the US legal system. The accusations in the CFTC suit are more of the same. Failing to register with the CFTC despite offering futures products, failing to implement adequate KYC, AML procedures, and offering illegal off-exchange commodity options. Just 2 weeks after the indictment and the CFTC suit were revealed, 2 more traders filed lawsuits against BitMex, again being represented by Pogden. The traders were Dmitry Dolgov and Pon Gabriel Razvan. And though filed separately, the suit contained largely the same allegations as in the BMA case. As a result of the growing number of cases concerned with the same set of facts, the defendants applied and the plaintiffs agreed to have them consolidated into one action. To that end, on November 25th, an amended complaint was filed which included 5 of Pogden's plaintiffs: BMA, Klochkin, Bubin, Dubinin, Dolgov, and Gabriela Razvan. The new consolidated complaint was an amalgamation of the separate suits, which were already substantially similar. Notably, it adds a claim for fraudulent solicitation, a violation of the US commodities legislation, which makes it unlawful to use manipulative or deceptive practices in connection with any trade. BitMex is accused of making a laundry list of material misrepresentations, half-truths and omissions to induce the plaintiffs into trading and continuing to trade on their platform. These include, among other things, false claims that trading on BitMex was fair and that HDR did not trade against its own customers. The defendants filed a motion to dismiss the consolidated lawsuit in December, saying that the plaintiffs seek to blame someone for Bitcoin's losses that they purportedly suffered from trading leveraged Bitcoin derivatives. If plaintiffs' complaint established anything, it is only that plaintiffs' lack of factual basis for the charges they levied at defendants. Principally, their argument was the lawsuit fails to allege facts sufficient to establish that the plaintiffs suffered losses resulting from trading on BitMex. This motion to dismiss was granted in March, with the judge inviting the plaintiffs to amend their complaint and refiling once its deficiencies had been addressed. The judge agreed with the defendants. They failed to plausibly explain how the defendants have harmed them. The limited allegations plaintiffs offer about their price manipulation theory are all alleged on information and belief, with no explanation for the basis of such beliefs or facts that would make the allegations plausible. The suit was refiled by the plaintiffs in on May 5th, 2021. Other lawsuits against BitMex. 2 more civil suits have been filed against BitMex in 2021, one by each of Domagoj Zadilbar and Anatoly Sorokin, both traders. While the Sorokin complaint is very close to the consolidated BMA case, the Zadillar lawsuit differs somewhat. Chiefly, in addition to the 4 usual defendants, Zadillar lists 10 additional DOE defendants whose identities cannot be ascertained before the commencement of the lawsuit, but who the plaintiffs expect to be revealed as the case progresses. The suit indicates that the agents and employees of their co-defendants, and in doing the things alleged in the complaint, were acting within the course and scope of that agency and employment. The BMA series of lawsuits are far from the only legal action brought against BitMex over their alleged scheme of market manipulation and consumer fraud. In addition to the aforementioned Department of Justice and CFTC cases, a class action lawsuit was filed in New York in April 2020. It's at Messiah versus HD Global Trading, or HDR Global Trading. There, the plaintiff's accusations are more or less the same as those in BMA, that BitMex purposefully manipulated digital asset prices by freezing its service in periods of significant price movement and traded against its own customers. There's another class action suit, also the New York Williams et al. Versus HDR Global Trading. Again, it contains some of the same actions as in the BMA Messiah case, and recounts the same theories as BMA, that BitMex would rely on illiquid and third-party exchanges to determine the price of its futures products so that those prices would be easily manipulated. The case was voluntarily withdrawn in April of this year. Oof, lucky. There's also a $450 million suit which was filed in California on behalf of two early investors in BitMex on May 13, 2020. Amato versus HDR Global Trading. According to that suit, BitMex cheated the investors out of tens of millions of dollars worth of shares which should have been assigned to them upon the issue of preferential shares to subsequent investors. This case was dismissed following a settlement paid by the defendant of an unspecified amount. So he got away with paying them off. BitMex's response. BitMex has deployed a number of arguments in response to the lawsuits. One of these has been to argue that the lawsuit, most of which has been filed in California, should be thrown out for lack of jurisdiction. For example, in the Zedilla case, BitMex filed a motion in May to dismiss the case on the basis that California is not the appropriate venue, instead suggesting England. In support of this, they say HDR is based in the Seychelles, the platform is hosted on servers in Ireland, and the BitMex is largely operated from Hong Kong. ABS is the only defendant incorporated in the US, and that its functions, systems, support, maintenance, digital security have, at best, a tenacious relationship to plaintiffs' claims. Lawyers for the plaintiffs have called these attempts frivolous. They argue that they are intended to overwhelm the plaintiffs into submission and delay the case long enough for the co-founders to loot their company dry and prevent the plaintiffs from collecting any money on the inevitable judgment. BMA's lawyers aren't the only ones to accuse BitMex of these tactics. In the Atomo early investor lawsuit, lawyers complained that the defendant's response to the suit was to come with the kitchen sink, an onslaught of motions, denials, pseudo-meet and confers, and other legerdemain calculated to delay, frustrate, and overwhelm plaintiffs with frivolous motion practice to run out the clock. This also included the claim that the UK, not California, was the appropriate venue for the case, despite BitMex operating out of San Francisco and having no operations in the UK. In Amanto, BitMex ultimately abandoned the argument before eventually settling with the plaintiffs. Another one that hasn't gone to court. Outstanding cases. Though BitMex has paid settlements to some of its accusers, there are still substantial open cases pending against the company and its founders. It remains to be seen whether the amended BMA complaint filed this month will be accepted to the judge. It also remains to be seen whether the Zedilla and Sorokin case are consolidated into the main BMA complaint or otherwise joined with the open class action suit in New York. Regardless, there seems to be no shortage of plaintiffs with an axe to grind against BitMex, with 2 new plaintiffs appearing this year in California alone. Pavel Pogodin, the attorney responsible for BMA's case, appears to be fielding litigants with each new BitMex outage or questionable trader liquidation that occurs. The chief obstacle in the way of these private litigations is the difficulty of providing the specifics of the scheme allegedly perpetrated by BitMex. The lawsuits are packed to the brim with detail, but for a lawsuit to be accepted by the court, there must be specific allegations which raise beyond mere speculation. Consolidating the scheme involved multiple corporate entities and third-party exchanges. Specifics can be hard to allege in the early stages of litigation. This is made even more difficult because, according to a criminal indictment against the founders, BitMex was designed specifically with non-compliance in mind. I mean, what were they trading on it for if they suspected this? It is for this reason that the CFTC and Department of Justice actions are so important. While there are undoubtedly a great many traders who will have suffered losses as a result of BitMex's alleged activity, a scheme as damaging and impactful as BitMex is accused of running is only likely to be resolved via direct law enforcement action, presumably why the DOJ stepped in and why each of the BitMex's co-founders are currently awaiting trial, currently set for March 2022. Of course, you wouldn't know it to look at BitMex today. Despite its founders awaiting criminal prosecution and the company facing a mountain of civil suits, BitMex is still welcoming new customers without a hint of accusations in its face. For that reason alone, a prompt and decisive resolution is in everyone's best interest, unless perhaps you happen to work for BitMex. Oh dear, still welcoming new customers, and people still wanting to trade on it. Utter shitcoining. Total shitcoining and shitcoiners. Unbelievable. I mean, this is why we have in the UK we have the health and safety executive. Honestly, some people are just so stupid. Literally, honestly, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But believable, knowing what we found out, knowing what people are like in this space. Jeepers. What's this? Payment giants are looking towards blockchain rails. Here's why. Ooh, got a mention of JP Morgan in this article here. Leaders from JP Morgan, MasterCard, FIS Global, and Tessat recently shared their thoughts on using blockchain and digital currencies for payments. Payments are one of the best use cases for blockchain. The payments use case for blockchain technologies and digital currencies is even alluded to in the title of the Bitcoin white paper. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And Satoshi references an electronic payment system 5 times throughout the white paper. At the faster, cheaper, leaner, why payment giants are looking to blockchain rails panel at Consensus 2021. Speakers including Christine Moy, Executive Director and Global Head of JP Morgan's Link Network, Block and Onyx by JP Morgan, Raj Damodaran, Executive Vice President of Blockchain Digital Asset Products and Partnerships at MasterCard, Ron Totaro, CEO of Tessat, and Mika Mershner from the Global E-commerce Business Development Department at FIS Global shared their insights regarding how their companies are approaching and implementing blockchain with regards to payments. During the panel, it became clear that few trends are emerging in the banking and finance industry around blockchain. Here are a few highlights. Blockchain rails can significantly reduce costs and settlement speed. Yeah, we know that. Consumers aren't interested in blockchain payment rails, really. Blockchain is a complementary, not a replacement. Yeah, I can see that. Very good, very good. I'm not going to read all that because I've got to go and see a client in just a moment. I've just been going for about 20 minutes and 45 seconds. That will do for today's show. Quite enjoyed that one. Leave some more articles to go through another time, hopefully. Shout out. Got some people in the chat box. Started with Neezy, KP Dads. Somebody asking me if I want followers and wanted to be famous. No, if I wanted followers, I wouldn't block everybody, would I? Ravroy 3000. Some mornings you have to remind yourself that you got through yesterday and you'll get through today too. Don't give up. We appreciate you. Stay hydrated. May God bless you and keep you safe this year and forever. I'm glad that you're alive. Cheers, mate. Green Pill Keith says, love chatting. The live stream must be getting synced up. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Keith Fellows and Reform Too Many Coiner. Excellent. Right. Handles and paymails in the chat box, peeps. Let's do this. It is time for one of my favourite parts of the day, which is dinging of the dong or the duro, as we have it now. Rock and roll. So starting from the top, so let's do KP Dad 72 on the way to you, which means Neezy, you are next. Oh, turning that volume up there. There we go. Sending NEE, that's Neezy. Swiping to send on the way. There we go. And need Green Pill Keith, yours in there. We have got Keith Fellows. Here we go. BIG, that comes up. Excellent. Swiping to send on the way. And Reform 2 mini corner. I do believe that's use it or lose it. There we go. Use it. Yep, got it. Swiping to send on the way. And Elvis Cool Cat. Let's see if that's in my Elvis. Oh, it's not. I need to put that in there. That's a cool one. Elvis. Oh yeah. Alright, Elvis CC. There we go. Elvis CC at simply.cash. See if I've got that one correct. Hey, there we go. Nice one. Swiping to send on the way. Nice one. Just Green Pill Keith, need yours in there. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, there we go. Right, good time to wrap up the show. Being 30 minutes. I mean, loving this, boys. Loving this. Let's just check this quickly. Here we go. BSV BTC. Do my eyes deceive me? Where are we now? Bring it on. This is the only metric that I'm interested in, really. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Right, going to check my TDXP at balance now. Right, boys. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your evening. And see you guys soon. Catch you later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.